All right, let's dive right in. We're going to tackle one of the biggest questions out there. In a universe that should be bursting with life, why is it so quiet? We're talking about a theory that's as compelling as it is, frankly, terrifying. And this quote, this really gets to the heart of it all. We've been beaming signals out into the cosmos for years, basically yelling, "We're here." But what if the silence we get in return isn't because no one's home? What if it's because everyone else is smart enough to stay quiet? You know, this is the classic Fermi Paradox. The math just doesn't add up. There are billions of stars, trillions of planets. There should be somebody else out there. So where are they? It's this great silence that has baffled scientists for decades. And how you see that silence really depends on your point of view. The hopeful take, hey, maybe we're just the first ones to the cosmic party. We're special. But then there's the other side of the coin, the terrifying view, that the silence means we're just naive, the only ones foolish enough to be making all this noise. This brings us to a really chilling explanation for the silence, a theory that suggests our attempts to reach out and say hello aren't just a bad idea, they could be the last mistake we ever make. It's called the dark forest theory, and the basic idea is this. The universe isn't a friendly, empty place. It's a dangerous one. And in this environment, survival depends on one simple rule: stay hidden. Because letting anyone know you exist is like putting a target on your back. To really get this, you have to picture the metaphor that gives the theory its name. Imagine the entire universe is just a huge, dark forest in the middle of the night. Now, in this forest, every single civilization is like a silent hunter creeping through the trees. Everyone is hiding, everyone is listening, because you know that the moment you make a sound, the moment you light a fire, you give away your position to every other hunter in the darkness. And to be seen is to be hunted. The logic behind this is just cold and ruthless. First, the number one goal of any civilization is just to survive. That's a given. Second, you can never be sure of another civilization's intentions. They might seem friendly, but can you risk it? Because of that uncertainty, any other life form is a potential threat. And if they're a threat, the only way to guarantee your own survival is to eliminate them before they can eliminate you. It's the ultimate preemptive strike. Okay, so if the galaxy is this dark, silent forest, what have we been up to here on Earth? Well, to stick with the metaphor, we've basically been running through the woods with fireworks, a megaphone, and a giant searchlight pointed at ourselves. I mean, just look at what we've done. We didn't just listen. We shouted. In 1974, we sent the Arecibo message, which had info about our DNA and our solar system. Then came the Voyager probes, carrying golden records with our music, our languages, our images. And that's not even counting the bubble of radio and TV signals that's been expanding out from Earth for almost 100 years now. And here's the really crucial part. We weren't subtle about it. We sent detailed information. Not just about who we are, but about where we are. Think about that. We didn't just say hello. We literally gave them a map to our front door. In the context of the dark forest, that's a terrifying gamble. It really makes you stop and ask a pretty tough question, right? Is our very human need to connect, this hope that we're not alone, is that actually our single biggest weakness on a cosmic scale? So let's bring it all back to that initial mystery. The great silence. Because if you accept the cold logic of the dark forest, then all that quiet out there, it suddenly starts to make a whole lot of terrifying sense. Because the rule of the forest is just brutally simple. The civilizations that last, they're the ones that learn to keep their heads down and stay silent. The ones that make noise, well, maybe they got wiped out a long, long time ago. And this is probably the most mind-bending part of the whole theory. The silence we hear isn't the sound of an empty universe. It's the sound of a full one, a universe packed with civilizations that are all hiding, listening, and holding their breath in the dark. So I'll leave you with this thought. For so long, we've stared out at the stars and felt a sense of loneliness because of the silence. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if the silence doesn't mean we're alone? What if it means we are in very real danger? Because we're the only ones in the forest making a sound.